Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to MedLern webinar series. The topic for today is emerging trends in nursing education. We also take this opportunity to announce the launch of MedLern collaboration with BMJ and the launch of BMJ learning courses on the MedLern platform. Here is the agenda for today. Now, as we are all aware, BMJ is a globally trusted name for CPD education for healthcare professionals. And MedLern is launching BMJ learning courses that are ready-to-go solution of over 50 plus e-learning modules. These modules are high quality, interactive, and evidence-based. And they cover various domains of nursing and cover topics from practical skills to case management, to patient assessment, case discussions, medication management, mental health, and many more such topics. Now, BMJ learning modules have been peer-reviewed, they are evidence-based, and they have been created by experts keeping in mind the busy nursing professionals. So there are these nuggets of information that are being provided to keep the nurses updated with the practice, the latest practice and the guidelines. The modules on case management, on case discussions, on clinical pointers will help the nurses handle complex situations at work and thereby promoting the continuing professional development and their career growth. Now, BMJ learning modules will help nursing professionals improve quality and consistency of care and thereby supporting their organization in getting better patient outcomes. The modules are based, some of the modules are on practical skills, which are also relevant for nursing students to make this transition from nursing college to clinical practice. So the modules, the BMJ learning modules that are being offered on MedLern platform are for both nursing professionals and nursing students. Now, BMJ Learning is an ideal training and education tool for the busy healthcare professional. The reason is that these modules are mobile compatible, can be accessed anytime, anywhere, and these modules are supported by multimedia content in the form of animations, videos, and they are simple and easy to navigate. And once the learner completes the BMJ course, they get a course completion certificate from BMJ. We'll be talking more about BMJ learning and what are the benefits for nursing professionals in the following session. I would now like to introduce our speakers for today. We have with us Mr. Prashant Mishra. He's the Managing Director, BMJ Publishing Group, India and South Asia. Prashant has completed his Masters in Microbiology and Business Management from IIM Lucknow. He's part of the steering committee of the Global Academy of Medical Education, a member of the Executive Council for the Association of Publishers in India, and executive member of IRO, and an expert group member for Lakshya, that is a program of Government of India. Next, we have Ms. Anka Beber. She's the Director of Strategy based out of London. Anka is a member of BMJ's Executive Committee. She leads strategic planning activities and innovation, as well as BMJ's high growth businesses like India and China. Anka has set up BMJ's new venture program some 3 years ago and developed a pipeline of investable companies. Anka holds a MBA degree from INSEAD. Next, we have Mr. Deepak Sharma. He is the co-founder and CEO of MedLern. Deepak is a graduate of IIT Delhi and IIM Calcutta and has served in several leadership roles in the technology industry with focus on healthcare and financial services. As a co-founder, Deepak is passionate about MedLern's mission to transform the talent stack in Indian healthcare to improve the efficiency and quality of healthcare delivery, patient safety, and to strengthen hospital brand and businesses. And our last speaker for today is Dr. Karthike. He's the principal and HOD of Department of Mental Health Nursing, RR College of Nursing. Dr. Karthike is a PhD and postgraduate in psychiatric nursing with more than 15 years of experience in nursing education, research, and administration. He has contributed in other publications, and he's an inspiration and result-driven professional who has an entrepreneur drive and strong work ethic required to continuously excel. I would a very warm welcome to all our eminent speakers, and I would now invite Mr. Deepak Sharma, who will be talking about the importance of bridging the skill gaps in the healthcare system and thereby improving patient outcomes. Over to you, Deepak.
Thank you, Dr. Renu. I think I should do the introduction for you and Dr. Renu. I would just introduced all of us. Herself, is a medical practitioner with a specialization in pediatrics. She's worked with very large medical education companies like Elsevier, Wolfsloher, and she now heads content strategy for MedLern. And I think I've got, is there something wrong with the background? It's flipped, the logos?
No, Deepak.
Okay, fine. I'm seeing it flipped.
I've stopped sharing, yeah.
No, I'm saying, okay. Just give me a moment, right? So I was just checking if my background has the logos flipped or something. Is it okay?
No, it's okay, Deepak. This is
Okay,
fine.
I think it's appearing to me. So sorry, apologies for that. Okay, just give me a moment. So over the next, few minutes, I will speak about the bridging the skill gap for better patient outcomes, what that means in the Indian context, and what today's announcement that brings together MedLern and BMJ Learning mean, and what our joint aspirations are, where we are going, and what we hope we can achieve together. I will also give a very brief introduction to what the actual product launch for the BMJ Learning is today for India, but I am hoping that subsequent sessions will dive a little more into this. So I'll just set the context in terms of the mission that we started off a couple of years ago as MedLearn. Where's the journey become, and how does it fit into the overall theme of bridging the skill gap for better patient outcomes? The specific role that our partnership with BMJ is going to play in this journey. So I will just a moment. Tell me when you can see my screen.
Yeah, Deepak, we can see your screen.
Yeah. So thanks, Dr. Renu, once again, and thanks, Prashant, Professor Karthik, and Anka for joining. Here just set the context for India. This is a known fact that medical mistakes, this is really an understatement. India itself really has less quality of data, but fact is, this is just tip of the iceberg. We probably, at least 600,000 deaths in India in hospitals alone because of issues other than other than what the patient came to be treated for, and either call adverse events, medical errors, mistakes, and broadly referred to in the patient safety categories. This is just one aspect of the quality. I think there's a bigger aspect, which is the number of, cost to hospitals, the amount of extent of damage to reputation, the quality of life, the daily average. So there's a whole lot of underlying statistics which is fairly understated, but this is the mission that MedLearn set out to address a couple of years back, and this was in the making. We spoke to dozens of hospitals. We did a lot of research, partnered with IQVIA, and this is what we basically set out to do, which is today's challenges, saying there's significant amount of gaps in both the healthcare, the number of skilled healthcare workers available, and what typically the traditional curriculum prepares them for. Institutions, organizations, individuals do have to invest a fair amount in terms of upskilling on an ongoing basis, making sure the knowledge is current, because this is one area where knowledge seems to really explode. Somebody was quoting statistics saying in 1950, probably took years and years for medical knowledge to double. I think that's measured with the amount of research published. I think in 2020, medical knowledge was doubling at a phase of I think every 73 days. So that's like a statistic which just is at odds with what the practice is today, because once you're out of college, the ability to continuously upskill yourself in tune with the emerging landscape of diseases, treatments, protocols. COVID was one example. I won't have too much of that. There's also been a whole lot of impact on the of the pandemic on the fatigue, dropouts, and engagement level of healthcare workers, and their ability to really keep themselves sustained and motivated. And it's admirable that the healthcare system finally waking up to the fact that need to ongoing basis prepare and equip their workers with not just specific skills to do their roles better, but also keep the motivation, stress management, career planning going in part as part of their work environment. In addition, specifically in India, the regulatory and compliance landscape is still evolving. I think there was a bit of a pause because the last couple of years, because of just the amount of issues we were dealing with. But now it's pretty obvious that, as healthcare moves in India towards more of a government payer system than a provider system, with a lot of with the government basically choosing to either do a lot of primary health, but a lot of the incentives for the private sector to come in and participate in the Ayushman Bharat program, the regulation and compliance is only going to increase. We've seen examples with NABH stipulating the amount of training. We've seen the draft bill for the nursing council's replacement. We've seen the bill for the continuous nursing education, which is tying licensing back to your number of minimum hours. I think this will only become a little more tighter as we go along. I think looking beyond today's challenges, we also needed tomorrow's opportunities. Really, the aspirations have opened up because of the growth in the Indian healthcare sector, the government stepping in and increasing the spend. I think there's more career opportunities increasingly available, non-traditional opportunities which are not available, mental health counseling, etc. But even for traditional healthcare, I think the quality and professionals and the aspirations of professionals growing. As I said, there are new business models. There is, healthcare at home, a lot of remote consultation, which started during the last 2 years. But I think there's that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole lot of new opportunities for professionals in healthcare, traditional as well as new areas to grow. I talked about regulation, and of course, digitization is one opportunity which has really opened up the field because of just the sheer quality and quantity. You can improve the service delivery, you can improve by leveraging digital technologies. And that's really seen just to start. I think the momentum in every field, but especially healthcare, just started to grow. But the other challenge which we've discovered in the healthcare landscape is that inside a healthcare facility, there's multiple stakeholders. There's training and skilling, which is led by the nursing department. There's training and skilling led by L&D, operations, HR, quality. The skilling needs keep evolving. I quoted the fact of 73 days to doubling of knowledge, which means that your ability to keep in touch with what's going on and what you need to know evolves and needs to evolve. The domain knowledge is clearly a sort of rapidly evolving field. Also, this is one unique area where the risk of mistakes high, which is what I started off by saying in terms of the just direct outcome in terms of lives saved and improved. On the flip side, if things go wrong, the costs are really high in terms of human costs. There's a lot of early stage questions, because as a business, hospitals do tend to be regulated. Their profitability tends to have certain constraints. And in terms of being able to just keep up with other traditional businesses, it is sometimes difficult for hospitals to measure the impact and return on training investments. Just like healthcare needs to be affordable and accessible and really widely available, I think similarly, there is a need for healthcare training to be affordable. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Also, the other element of this sector is that the learning and development functions tend to be fairly lean and focused on the basics. And there's been a lot of focus on instructor-led training, but now it's shifting. The entire landscape is shifting in terms of more e-learning and digital training. What we really need to do is to have a lot of these initiatives going on the both professionals and students, professionals and the hospital side, really quality tools and access to really quality learning content, which is also the theme for today's launch, right? Really to be able to anticipate needs of healthcare professionals from the time they graduate to the time that they aspire to sort of go into leadership roles, specialist roles. And a lot of that was part of MedLern's vision. Briefly about MedLern, what we did was understand the market and launched a couple of years back. And since then, we've really gone from strength to strength. We're now in 200 plus hospitals with 6,000 professionals. We really look to see how healthcare is unique and built a unique solution. We've created programs which are pre-populated, like induction, patient safety, quality-related program, which hospitals really need to spend less time thinking and planning and more executing and making sure that the reporting and compliance is in tune with what your different regulators need. We built a unique intellectual property, which is healthcare roles and competencies. We mapped, literally 100+ roles in different parts of our hospital to what the competencies, both clinical and soft skills needed. And for a hospital L&D leader to just use that module, be able to put the learning and the training needs assessment on autopilot and make sure that they focus more on quality of learning and engagement rather than just the administration and the planning part. We have dozens of things to talk about, but I think I quickly get to today's topic, which is around how we actually doing using both the features and the content partnerships on a global scale to really create value for the healthcare professionals as well as healthcare as a business to be able to scale efficiently, manage the risk on the professional side, build really rewarding career paths. And as I said, aspirations can be to have leadership managers, role aspirations can be to specialize. And typically we found that the aspirations get stuck for lack of available modules, content, and the ability to just manage that. And also from a ability of healthcare leaders or learning leaders to actually deliver measurable impact. That's been our focus. We've had a lot of success with all sizes of hospital, large multi-unit hospital chains, as well as smaller hospitals. What we're really focusing on today is how we bringing together the sets and tools and features that we talked about with authoritative content. I'm focusing, we've got a fair amount of content on other topics as well, but the focus today is on BMJ Learning, and we'll talk a lot more about that later. But I do want to point out that I feel authoritative content is limited not just to e-learning, which is definitely a large part of the delivery. There is a different solution for actually hands-on skills training, which MedLern is also focusing on, which is a partnership with rolling out resuscitation programs and integrating simulation platforms with the digital platform. So you can not just learn cognitive skills, but also practice skills. And there's really for another session. The main focus, and Dr. Renu has already covered most of this, is for the on the content side. As I said, really we have authoritative and evidence-based content, which is interactive, which is now also an intuitive way for most of us to learn. I think the last couple of years has taught us that content needs to be interactive, also being digital, and it's fast and efficient. It ensures that beyond college, beyond your current role, there's continuity of learning, there's upgradation of skills, there's continuous development. Increasingly, with the continuous nursing education regulation, that's also going to be tied to licensing. What we've done is worked together as partners to identify a selection of 50+ modules. I think there'll be a deep dive into sometime later. But the basic focus has also been to sort of make sure this is affordable, accessible, and flexible for the Indian market, instead of trying to, give a whole load of content through subscriptions, which is probably a global model. We suited the pricing and the business models to the Indian market, made it really affordable, and be able to let you pick and choose what you really need, and therefore the flexibility comes in. The topics covered vary. Just a sort of brief overview, which includes practical skills, case management, patient assessment, COVID, communication skills. This is just a sampling. I think as we go deeper into the session, you will have a whole bunch of these questions being answered if you do have. I want to bring that to a close now my session, because I think we have much more eminent speakers waiting, and we'll tell you about more what's in store for you today. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll take questions at the end of the session. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dr. Renu.
Thanks, Deepak. And I'm sure that the nursing professionals will benefit from this opportunity being provided by BMJ Learning. I would now like to invite Mr. Prashant Mishra, who will be talking about, he'll give us an introduction to BMJ Learning and how these modules will benefit the nursing professionals. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, Dr. Renu, and thanks, Deepak, for your session. Dr. Renu, I'll share my screen now so that I can showcase the slides which I have. There are not too many, but few slides. Can I check if my screen is visible?
Yeah, Prashant, it is visible.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. So, let me first start by wishing all the nurses, and I could see there are a good number of nurses who turned up today for the session, despite their busy schedule. So let me start by wishing all the nurses who have joined this session a belated Happy Nurses Day, which we know just got concluded on the 12th of this month. We know that this year's theme is Nurses, a Voice to Lead. It says, invest in nursing and respect rights to secure global health. Because the greatest threat to global health is the workforce shortage, we know, right? And International Council of Nurses on International Nurses Day demands action on investment in nursing, protection and safety of nurses. So friends, my talk may be considered as one which is targeted towards investment in nursing, not in the true sense of generating more nurses out of the system, but I would say more so from the point of upgrading the knowledge of the key available human resource that we have. Right? So this is going to be a call to you and to your hospital key decision makers to think about this key aspect. And I can very well vouch for 3 clear outcomes, or if I may say returns, via this investment. Number 1 being the confidence in your own self to do a better job, thereby helping you reduce the anxiety and stress that comes on a daily basis. Right? That's number 1. Number 2, obviously improved patient outcomes. Dr. Renu, Deepak have both already stressed. And number 3, your own career advancement. So I thought I'll start first by wishing all of you on the Nurses Day, which just got concluded. So this is the slide on BMJ Learning. That's the main focus of discussion for today. So what is BMJ Learning? It's our state-of-the-art, it's BMJ state-of-the-art online CME/CPD platform for doctors, for nurses, and allied healthcare practitioners. Today, we are going to focus on you guys, that is the nursing community. We claim it is a fast and efficient way for users, that is nurses like you, to test their current knowledge, see where you are currently, and keep yourself up to date with your topic of interest. There is both the ease and the flexibility of access, as you remain in total control of when and how much time you would like to dedicate towards your learning. And I think the most crucial aspect for all learners, including you and myself, is the quality of the content, right? This was highlighted by the previous speakers. And I would once again like to assure you that within BMJ, all our content, including BMJ Learning content for nurses, is very well written by the subject matter experts. It is also peer reviewed again by the subject matter experts. It is evidence-based and it is regularly updated. Friends, we all know that we learn differently, isn't it? I think, yes, we all learn differently. So we tend to absorb and process content and information in different ways. Therefore, we've created our courses using a wide range of formats to suit your needs. Includes audio, video, animations, and text-based modules. Talking about certain statistics, 8 million courses got completed roughly by close to 1 million healthcare practitioners on BMJ Learning. And building upon further on the point around quality of our courses content, around 80 institutions as on date, worldwide, they accredited our courses. I'll move on to the next slide. Now, BMJ Learning is, this particular slide, it would help you understand the key healthcare challenges that we try and address. Again, this includes, but is not limited to, reducing the variation that we see in clinical care. So it helps us in delivering consistent care. Second, I would say, when it comes to supporting the induction of new nursing staff, that's where it plays a key role. Third, I would say it improves the performance of, clinical teams. We know many times it is the entire team which is working, right? So which includes clinicians, nurses, paramedics, etc. Fourth, for the hospitals, if they were to organize something on their own, it would cost them money. So it reduces cost of producing content. and the team away days. If you do a physical event, physical session, we know that people have to be away from their clinical settings, right? So you avoid it. And last but not the least, you can actually measure the performance. So this comes with analytics in terms of measuring performance, reporting results, and also to help you demonstrate the compliance. I'll move on to the next slide. Now, this is a simple slide. Right? It is a self-explanatory slide of what all priority areas we cover. And I'm pretty confident that these would align to your thinking or to your priority areas as well. It just gives few seconds for people to reflect, what these topics look like. Okay, so I'll move on to the next slide now. So this talks about the content coverage or the courses that we have for you. It is not a very exhaustive list. Deepak did mention there are 50 odd courses. So here we have a snapshot. Again, I'll pause for a few seconds for you to look at the courses and reflect back on your own key learning needs. Okay, I'll move on now. Now, this slide I personally feel is very useful. It guides us towards, making choices. When we think of choosing a particular course, it tells us for every course that we have, it tells you or it gives you a brief overview of a particular course. It also highlights the learning objectives that we address. Very transparently, it tells you about who's the contributor, so who's actually penned down this content, largely the subject matter experts, the peer reviewers, and when the course was last updated. So for every course, you would see this. And on the right side of the screen, you could see a course on basic practical skills, peak flow measurement, where you could also see the learning outcomes, contributors, etc. Now, this concept of chaptered content, right? Basically, it helps you skip certain portions and jump straight to where you need to devote time. Right? We are all busy, and I think this is a great feature to really devote time to where we think the need is. Most of our courses have a pre-test at the beginning to test your current knowledge or your baseline knowledge on a particular topic. And this is generally done by presenting an interesting case scenario. There would be the main question or the lead question, and there would be the choice of answers. Right? Talking about the content types to suit topics. So this I have said earlier, there is richness of course media format. We have courses which are purely text-based. There are video modules, there are image-based course content, there are animations, there are interactive diagrams, clinical cases, etc., which I feel actually help you learn fast and learn better. Right? It's all about time. It's all about, are you learning and are you learning in the right way? And this is about the final assessment. So once you've completed a course, at the end of every course, you would have the assessment. Here again, there are going to be clinical cases. There would be questions and the choice of answers. The system is smart enough to tell you what the right answer is, but more importantly, it also tells you why it is the right answer. For people who would want to go deeper into a particular topic, there are ample number of references for you to consider if you wish to explore a topic or related topics in more depths. So that's also taken care of. This one is some of the feedback, or you could say these stats from BMJ Learning user survey. Again, I'll give you a few seconds to read and reflect. But in general, I would say that around 98 to 99% of our learners who completed the modules, completed the courses, they could actually achieve delivery of improved care, and they felt more confident in their nursing practice. Now, since each course is on and around 40 to 60 minutes of duration, 91% of our users, they actually save time by completing the courses on BMJ Learning. So again, as I said, I would give you some time to read and reflect on the feedback that we've received. Friends, that was largely what I really wanted to say. Thank you for listening to me. And if there are any questions, I would be very happy to take questions as and when the organizers, MedLern board advise. So that was largely from my side. But if I were to really think of leaving you with the key messages, I think the key highlights or key messages from my session would comprise of: number one, invest in your knowledge. It will create the right dividends or returns. And when I talk about returns, as I said earlier, it's about your own confidence in your own self, which definitely helps in bringing the anxiety and stress levels down. Number two, improve patient outcomes, for which we all are trying to achieve those things. And third, that's about your own career progression. Deepak did mention you now have the option to consider high quality BMJ learning courses, which are now priced affordably in Indian rupees for you to really make the purchase. And third thing, do write to us if you have any further feedback or if you think we could be of any further help. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Prashant, for a very insightful session. And as Prashant mentioned, BMJ Learning offers best global practices, rich content, and professional development opportunities for nurses. And they should make the most out of it. Now, I would like to invite Anka. Anka will be talking about global strategy of BMJ and plans for India.
Hello, everyone. Very happy to be here. Thank you for participating at this event. First of all, I'd like to thank our partners at MedLern for pulling all this together, and also to my colleagues at BMJ India. So I'm going to, as Dr. Rino said, I'm going to cover a little bit more generally what BMJ is about, and then go into some detail around our strategy and how we view India as part of our strategy. So I'm going to share my screen. I hope you can see my screen now. Yes? Okay. So, as I said, it's really pleasing to be here and to support you in your journey to achieve your aims. And our aim of supporting you with high quality content is really very much in line with our vision for a healthier world. This is really what guides our thinking at BMJ. We are very much a values and mission-driven organization, and we share knowledge and expertise to improve healthcare outcomes. And in my session, I'd like to touch on two key aspects. Number one, I'll talk a little bit more about the background of BMJ, who we are and what defines us, so that you see what's at the basis of us creating this type of authoritative evidence-based content. And number two, I'll talk a little bit more in detail about our strategy. So who we are at a glance. I was saying that our values are a very important part of our company culture, and they are really at the basis of everything that we do. We care about the outcomes and the impact of our work, and we believe in evidence. Everything that we do is evidence-based. We also build our knowledge being centered around the patient, and we believe in openness and in being transparent, because we know that only by sharing data and being open can we be at the forefront of tackling difficult healthcare questions. We are also courageous and unbiased. This is very much part of our set of values as well. And we don't shy away from trying to answer difficult research questions. One of the key measures that is always front of mind for us is really the impact that we are creating. So with everything that we do, we're asking the question of how can this help us make better decisions, create better evidence, and enable healthcare professionals with better systems and better decisions. These are very important components that sort of guide our work on a day-to-day basis and that help us create a healthier world. So how are we achieving our mission and values? Our flagship journal is the BMJ. And we are achieving this by our mission by publishing the newest cutting-edge academic research. But we also publish education, learning content, as well as clinical decision support tools, which make the life of healthcare professionals easier and helping them make better decisions. So our reach extends to about 50 million users worldwide for 2021. And this is something that we sort of care a lot about, and it's something that is forefront of mind to sort of make sure that we're reaching the audience and we're building this global audience. We work with about 8,000 institutions, and they include academic institutions, hospitals, medical societies, governments, ministries of health, and professional bodies and associations. And we are very proud of our heritage. I mean, I did mention about the BMJ as being our flagship journal, which we started publishing in 1840. And I think what you will find at BMJ is that there is a combination between this tradition and wonderful heritage that we have and the values and ethics. And also there is a lot of innovation and the forward-thinking mindset that we promote in the company. And we are continuously creating new product, and we are consolidating our position in research and publishing. We have expanded our portfolio of journals over the years, so now we are publishing 70+ specialty journals. But we also launched products like BMJ Learning, which we are talking about today. And we have also launched best practice and really established a name in the evidence-based clinical decision support arena. We achieved a lot in terms of digitization. And we are, as I said, we are a very innovative company, but we are very aware that in order to innovate in all the sectors that we are operating in, we really need to get in touch with these innovative early stage companies. And we've created a program of investment called BMJ New Ventures, whereby we work with these innovative companies and sort of exchange ideas and bring an entrepreneurial culture within our company as well. Hence, again, delighted to be working with MedLern to provide authoritative content to you, to healthcare professionals, and hoping that this is just the start of a wonderful collaboration between us. Now, in terms of strategic context, I just want to sort of dwell a little bit on the fact that although we are called British Medical Journal, we are very much a global organization. We have a sizable commercial team of 50+ staff serving medical communities worldwide, but in total we are about 500 staff. We have offices in London, in Cardiff, in Delhi, Mumbai, Beijing, and Hoboken. And it's important to mention that basically this audience that I was talking about is very much a global audience, and our focus is very much a global focus. And we have more than half actually of our business based outside the UK. Our strategic priorities are very much connected to high growth markets. I mean, you see there we've got an operation in Delhi, which is run by Prashant. We have an operation in Beijing as well. And with these offices and with these businesses, we have really managed to bring in a lot of innovation. I mean, our team in India have created new products, which we are looking now at, can we sort of present them to a global audience? And same for our efforts in China. We've made a lot of efforts in terms of, for example, integrating best practice into the workflows of healthcare professionals, and achieve amazing results in terms of very deep integration of our flagship clinical decision support tool best practice into the workflows of healthcare professionals in India. Now, Deepak touched a little bit on trends, and actually Prashant did as well. And I thought I would just tell you a little bit about how do we think about the global trends when we are setting our strategy at BMJ. So we do speak a lot about the rise of open science and the way that researchers have now increased expectations, and the way that we are looking to help them by integrating our content into their workflows and improving discoverability of this content. I spoke already about the digitization and the fact that we are making a lot of progress on that, and we're seeing in our market a lot of emphasis on data analytics and artificial intelligence and the rapid uptake of telemedicine. We're also seeing very much a trend around patient taking control of their health. And also a challenge around global demographics driving supply and demand, and the workforce shortage, which Prashant touched on, which increases the importance of sourcing and reskilling and retaining healthcare professionals. And we also noticed a sharpened focus on impact and outcomes, which is something that we do think about a lot, and I touched on at the beginning of the session. But we see this in our stakeholders as well, this need to demonstrate impact and to improve efficiency and accountability and transparency. Our strategy is very much based on these trends that were accelerated by the pandemic, and our strategy pillars are centered around some main themes, which are providing superior digital solutions to healthcare professionals, strengthening our product portfolio, and being an effective organization. And our strategy for India very, very much mirrors all of these priorities. Then there are efforts in India to basically contribute to BMJ through all of these three pillars. Our focus is very much on sort of increasing our presence. We have a wonderful team there. We have a wonderful track record. We believe we have the expertise and we have the assets that it takes to be able to provide even more impetus around supporting healthcare professionals in India. So this is very, very much a priority for us going forward. So this is in a nutshell what I wanted to say, to give you a flavor about BMJ as a company. Very much looking forward to working together with you and to supporting you in achieving your aims. Very much proud of what we have achieved together so far, and look forward to the next steps. And I'll hand over back to Dr. Renu. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Anka, and we wish you all the best for your new ventures, especially the ones in India. Now I would like to invite Dr. Karthike, who will be giving us a nursing perspective. So Dr. Karthike will be talking about the paradigm shift that is happening in the field of nursing education through adaptation of digital technology. So over to you, Dr. Karthike. And before you start, Dr. Karthike, I would request all the audience to please type in your questions. We will take all the questions at the end of the session. Okay.
Okay. So first of all, good evening, everyone, and also I'm inviting the MedLern as well as the BMJ to come and do the change in nursing fraternity, because it's my fraternity. So I'm welcoming you, because the conventional methods has to be changed and the new modernized type of education and what is the people-centered care has to become. So on this aspect of which you are coming, so I'm welcoming you on board in behalf of nursing fraternity. So the change is the only thing which we need for this situation immediately, because what we have experienced in the pandemic as the nursing fraternity, I can able to say you. So but there is no change is happening, also not the thing, but there's some problem. Without change, no progress will happen. So that proverb we will stick on it, and then we have to move on it. So education is the area, because it is attaches great importance to the knowledge and education. So it is the manifestation of perfection already in the man, as per the Swami Vivekananda. So we have to bring out that. So there are several strategies you have been created on the new modernized education trends, which I have gone through your websites, and as well as with the MedLern, since they are our partner with us. So that will change a massive thing in our fraternity, I believe. So importance of the innovation is the very important key, because it's a constructive thinking, which may gives a group of ideas, it groups the people, all the thing, as well as it is the action of introducing a new method and ideas of product for the betterment of the community. So that is the main thing. So here in digital adaptation, since right now, what is the thing which we are gaining through the education is mainly thing is we can able to enhance the access to the care, enable care in the remote settings, improve healthcare delivery system, empower the patients, and so there will be feedback systems will be created. So these are all the things. So nurses will get the like residential training programs will be built up much more and bring they bridge the gap between the theory and practice. So prepare a real world practices such as clinical decision making, simulation based practice. So nowadays many trends like ASCII or simulation, fidelity stimulators, high fidelity stimulators. So these are all the things has been come into the play. So since because all the patients they can't able to go and do the trial, they can able to do the trial in the labs, and then they can go for since the use of the technology and the digitalization, and also the teaching as well as the worldwide. The remote teaching aspects has been much developed, and students able to access immediately. For that, for example, these things are coming in the digital platforms, which may saves time, quick and easy. It learners space and time, and multimedia features and interactivities, which also be useful. Decision making scenarios and the case scenarios. All these are the benefits which may be useful in this aspect. So nowadays, nursing education faces many challenges because of the conventional teaching methods, because we can't able to take the student to each and every corner and exposing is very difficult. But these virtual based education and digital learning, which may increases many things. So there are multiple interactive technologies such as because of these innovations, which has came is personal response systems, human patient stimulation, personal digital assistant. So yeah, in 1996, I think American Nurses Association has implemented this personal digital assistance in America, and web conferencing, podcasting, course management system. So these were integrated to the curriculum and then make the thing possible. Because nowadays, each and every country, every state, so the syllabus is a dynamic, that is a dynamic syllabus. So there is no system static syllabus. That is the problem which we are facing universally. Maybe culture-wise variations may be there, but all over the world, the concept must be if it is a static syllabus or static curriculum we are making, means universally we can able to standardize the nurses and make them to work under one umbrella or one system. So on educational assessment models also, since you people are having are well known about the thing like learning management systems, MOOC, continuous online courses, all those things. So this methodology, which you have already known, these methods which we even MedLern also they have spoken on this. So it will work out as per the Miller's pyramid. So from the nose to dust, we are building the curriculum, which may be useful since the use of technologies. It is very possible to conduct like CBT, OSCE tests, each and everything. Because of the digitalization, micro teaching, massive topics has been minored into micro units, and then if it be taken as a contents or topics, it will be useful. And nursing informatics is the very important syllabus which has to be implemented in the nursing curriculum. Even in India, it is implemented. There are some countries still, even last week I had a conversation with an Ethiopia university, Volga University. They implemented this digitalization syllabus itself. So these are all the things to be added there, which will be useful. Video conferencing, web-based conferencing, e-learning methodologies, and in-service learnings. Like continuous nursing education is the module which will be implemented in every sector with the use of virtual module, which will be useful, and it will give the betterment for the nurses and also for their upliftment in the future. There are the career development opportunities, so it makes for specialized roles, administrative roles, research, teaching faculty, leadership. So the main thing is we have to build a leadership and team management. Now, that is the major thing, because it is not an individual to perform, it is a group of people has to inform. So those things we can able to conduct through virtual seminars, virtual teachings and virtual platform, which may support for us. I think I am welcoming you, both of you, for this platform. I know about BMJ from my medical, that is basic education itself, nursing education itself, most of the things, because they are supporting on the students aspects is very well, and also on the research activities much more. So I think they will enhance their knowledge in various patient care situations and help and handle the complex situations and make them understand. I think they empower them with developed skill sets, keep them updated with best practices and latest development. So they promote professional development and career progression is there, and the humanity service which they are giving to the society is much valuable. I think it's a first step for in India in nursing sector. I am welcoming you, BMJ, as well as the MedLern, my partner, and my future partner, BMJ. So thank you for giving the opportunity to share my ideas. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Karthikeyan. This was very insightful, and I agree with you that digital adoption is a way forward. Now we will take questions from our audience. Our first question, are the BMJ learning courses accredited by any association in India or outside? And who is the certifying body for these courses? So this question, I think, Prashant, if you can take this question.
Sure, Dr. Renu. So talking about the accreditation, as I said in my talk as well, there are globally around 80 odd very reputed bodies, institutions who accredited our BMJ learning content. Talking about India per se, BMJ learning is accredited by the Karnataka Medical Council. And in the past, we've had accreditations from Delhi Medical Council, Maharashtra, Goa Medical Council as well. So that's how the landscape looks like at this point in time.
Prashant, is there a CME credit? You just mentioned Karnataka Nursing Council or Medical Council. So will the learners receive any CME credits on completion of the courses?
So because it is with the Karnataka Medical Council, doctors who register for BMJ learning content, and if they were to complete certain doctors targeted modules, they would receive the CME credit from the Karnataka Medical Council.
Okay. Okay, so the next question, again, I think, Prashant, this for you. Will there be an instructor support for the BMJ courses? Prashant, you are not audible.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was saying that most of our courses, they are self-directed, self-driven, and they generally doesn't require an external instructor support, right?
Okay. The next question is also for you, I think, Prashant. Are the BMJ learning modules for the beginners, or they can be taken by senior nurses?
Both. There are a good number of courses that are good for the students, and at the same time, there is a good representation of modules / courses which are targeted towards the senior nursing professionals.
Okay, so is there a segregation, like, on the basis of complexity for your courses?
I mean, that's a very good question. I don't think we've yet done it, but I think with your help, Dr. Renu, MedLern's help, this is something which we may want to explore. We can look at how we can really categorize our content, for both the clusters. So yes, that's a very good idea, I would say.
Okay. Then these courses, are these like, I think this is for Deepak, I think, can individual nurses purchase these modules, or is it only for institutes? Deepak, I can also answer this question. I think Deepak is having some network issues. So these courses are for both. They can be, I mean, the nursing institutes and the hospitals can reach out to us if they want to purchase these courses for their nurses. And at the same time, nursing individuals like nursing students or nursing professionals can also come to our MedLern store and purchase these courses. Yeah, one more question. I think, Prashant, this for you. What is the average duration of the course module? Like, how much is it? Like half a day, 2 hours, 3 hours? You're muted, Prashant.
Sorry. I was saying on an average, it would take the user 45 minutes to 60 minutes to complete the module.
Okay, okay. And Dr. Karthikeya, I think this question is for you. Could you define nursing roles, since there are different types of assistants available now? I think what I think is meant is, what are the different opportunities today for nursing professionals?
In profession, actually, there may be the master trainers will be created. For example, apart from that, there are different roles will be there. There is a like duty assistant, and other things will also be created online. So those also the things will be possible.
Okay.
Even I can explain you in detail. I'm having 3-4 slides. I'll share it with you later. Even you can share it.
Yeah. Okay. And I think this question is for you, Mr. Prashant. How will the Nursing Institute benefit from BMJ Learning? We have been speaking more about nursing professionals. How are these relevant for nursing students?
I think very relevant, because even Professor Karthikeyan talked about making that transition from theory to practice, and I think in that context it would definitely help the larger masses, part of the nursing college. The advantage for the institution or for the college coming forward and taking a subscription is that they actually purchase on behalf of all the nursing students as well as the faculty. So it's a collective purchase, it's a collective bargain. So they are in fact better placed to leverage the collective bargaining power that they have.
Yeah. One question, it's not exactly a question, it's just like it's been mentioned in chat box that persons planning to take UK placement in UK. So how will these courses benefit nurses who are looking for overseas placements?
Look, I could answer this, but maybe I'll request Anka. Anka, would you want to go for it? Not sure if there is any connectivity issues. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Prashant.
Okay. So let me try and answer it. The fact that these courses, modules are targeted towards building one's knowledge, right? But at the same time, this doesn't really guarantee any placement, especially in the UK context or outside India. But I can tell you from my experience and from the user's experience, because the BMJ is a brand name and BMJ Learning is so well accepted globally, there are so many takers of BMJ Learning courses who are very well placed, especially if you look at nurses in the Middle East. Even I would say nurses who are placed in the UK systems or outside. they've gained either directly or indirectly by virtue of completing these courses. So the answer is not very straightforward, but yes, from the experience, what we've seen, knowledge helps. Knowledge helps people with their placements. And there is a documentary evidence that they carry with them to showcase that knowledge.
That's true. Yeah, I agree, Mr. Prashant. And there is one more question that I think I should answer about the pricing. So what is the pricing of these modules? So we have a different range of courses. Depending on the duration of the courses, the pricing vary from 500 rupees to 1500 or 2000 rupees. But because of the launch, we will be running some early bird discounts, and we would advise our audience to visit our store and take benefit of these discounts. So I think that is what we have. We have answered the questions, and thanks again to all our eminent speakers for taking time out today, and thanks to the audience as well for taking out time to attend this webinar. For more information, you can reach out to us at storemedlearn.com, and you can access the courses. BMJ, if you want to purchase the courses, you can visit storemedlearn.com, and you can reach out to us at info.medlearn.com. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks. And we'll, in the interest of time, we'll close the webinar here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Renu. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks.
Thank you.